Welcome to NFT Update. I'm your host, Deezy.
And I'm Justin.
And we come to you once a week, every Sunday, with the breaking NFT news that's happening in the space. And, whoa, it's been a crazy week.
It sure has. The news of the week is Cardano NFTs.
You talking about this little thing right here?
Yeah, the king of crypto right now? Yeah, Cardano.
Right now.
Yeah, Cardano NFTs. If you've been following our channel, NFT Update, link in the description, you'll know that we've been just killing it with some of these picks.
Yeah, a lot of 3Xs, 5Xs, even a 7X or two.
Boss Cat Rocket Club.
Yeah, people do love it. I know my journey the last week with Cardano NFTs specifically, I've been kind of focusing on the metaverse plays, and we saw it. You know, we talked about Pavia. Pavia had like a really nice pump. But then we started looking for some more deep cuts, you know, things maybe working with Pavia or things with less plots. With Pavia, there's 60,000 NFTs. So, you know, we found that Moon Play artifact. It's only 5,000. Then there was the Isometrics house. There was less than 5,000 buildings. And they want to integrate with Pavia, just kind of like a Lego piece, like
plug right on the top of it. So you don't have to learn how to build. You can just buy this NFT and kind of plug it on top of the metaverse land that you have.
So I've been diving in the metaverse. What have you been looking at in the Cardano NFT space?
Well, if you've watched our latest video, I'm really big on Bright Pals. And the reason I am, their roadmap is very simple utility. They're going to come out with a short, an animated short. They're going to put it on YouTube, and then they're going to be planning the rest of their roadmap and their utility, which is cool. Like, I don't like over-promising, so that's cool. But the art, I think, is phenomenal. They have very similar art. I think it was inspired by Doodles that was on Ethereum, which is a blue chip NFT.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the Doodles art. I'm a fan of the pastel colors. You know, they really pop, and there's not too much of that on Cardano, so it's not too saturated with that type of art. But
that's a good point. Like, this kind of goes to our NFT playbook, our hunting playbook, is you want to look at something that's successful on another chain.
Yep. And
you want to see if there's a similar project on Cardano.
Yeah, a little correlation there. Yeah,
I like that. So cool. Well, what else we got?
Well, I know we have a little sponsor feature. Is some I actually started digging into, and it got me hooked.
What was
I'm
that?
about to tell you about this game right quick. It's called Sidus. This is where it got me hooked. Blockchain play to earn RPG.
Oh, RPG. I love the RPG.
Yeah, so this is on Binance Smart Chain. It's a giant docs team. You know, they do have a token that, you know, if you want to get in the token, they also have NFTs. And also another thing that got me really excited, loot boxes.
Oh.
People love the loot boxes. We're in crypto. We love to gamble. You know, you can say, look, you can get a guaranteed, you know, this is your value. Or you let us gamble. What's in the mystery box? I know what I'm choosing. What are you choosing?
I'm choosing. I want to pay a little bit. Hope I get the big prize.
Yeah, and they got a big community. Their Twitter had almost a third of a million. It was like 330,000 people.
That's massive.
Their Discord's almost 250,000. It's over 200,000 people.
Okay, that's really
so
cool.
we definitely got a big community here.
Man, that sounds pretty cool. Are they working with any partnerships?
That's a good question. You know, what do you see a lot with the play to earn? Guilds.
Yeah.
So a lot of the big guilds are starting to onboard people, so that's going to be big because they'll be the fiat on-ramp for the people who can't quite afford it. Next thing you know, they're earning enough sandwiches, they start their own team. They start their own guild, so that's going to be good. And ByBit, the official ByBit Twitter, retweeted some of their stuff. So they're working with ByBit. Here's the thing, the coin isn't even listed on CoinGecko.
Oh, that's weird.
And for I don't want to say a meme coin type of, you know, thing, but their token, they only have 30 billion. So we're not talking quadrillions. We're not talking, you know, hundreds of trillions. You know, we're looking at 30 billion as far as a token supply. It's under 10 cents right now. You know, just, you know, maybe something to check out. SIDUS. So pretty excited about it.
So is that similar to, like, it's an in-game token, right? So similar to Axie's SLP token.
Yeah, similar to that, but their game, they have some big things planned. They're going to do, I think they're committing $1 million in prizes for the gamers.
Okay.
So I can see a lot, once these guilds, they smell that prize pool, they're going to have all their little guild members like, hey, I need you playing this game. So,
yeah, they're going to start running. That's cool, man.
Check out Sidus for sure.
Sidus. Love it. Okay, cool. Well, I got a project.
All right. What is it?
So it's called Unbanked, and this is a sponsored segment. It's called Unbanked.
Okay.
Yeah. So I love the name of this project, Unbanked, because it kind of reminds me of kind of what crypto's all about.
Yeah.
Being in control of your own.
Serving people who, you know, you may not understand that, you know, if you're watching this, a good chance you're sitting in a comfortable home, but a lot of people in the world are unbanked.
Yeah.
Billions.
So, crypto is kind of built to bring financial freedom to the masses, no matter if you live in Africa or United States or China or, anywhere in Europe. So it's a very cool concept. Unbanked, it allows, very similar to other staking platforms like Celsius and BlockFi and Crypto.com. They are a yield farming platform. So you stake your tokens on this platform.
Okay, I like it. It's kind of reminds me, on Sidus, you could stake the token. And yeah, the more you stake, the more you're going to earn too.
Yeah, they actually have a card, like a credit card and all that stuff that goes along with it. But they're doing an NFT drop. They've actually commissioned the artist from Pudgy Penguins.
Ooh,
I don't know if you...
that was a popular project.
Yeah, it was huge. I don't know if you remember that art, but it's phenomenal. Antonio Mingo.
Oh yeah, Mingo was his name-o.
Mingo.
That is right. Yeah.
So very cool. So they're doing a 10,000 generative drop.
Okay.
Of bankers, and these bankers will be monkeys. They'll be bears. They have all kind of animals in 3D, and they'll all be unique. That's pretty cool. But here's the catch: if you get one of these NFTs, you get free access to, without any fees, to their staking platform. That's cool. But what's really cool is you get 20% more on your yield.
Okay, nice. So yeah, if you're earning $10, now it's $12.
Yeah,
so, okay.
You get more on the interest from whatever asset that you stake on.
Now you can add bacon to that sandwich. I like that.
I like that. So I thought that was pretty cool. They also have shared IP, and that's kind of a big thing in the NFT space. IP rights. They're going to share the IP rights. You're able to monetize, the likeness and the art.
Yeah, kind of like a Pluto Alliance there, right?
Very similar to Pluto Alliance. So I expect really big things. The drop is at the end of this month, January 31st at 12 p.m. So y'all make sure you have you save that on your calendars and visit the website. We'll put the links in the description. I think pretty good things. I think the art, Pudgy Penguins, blue chip, just to get one of these, I think will be huge. Not to mention all the utility you get with them.
Yeah, and the utility with the Unbanked, and trying to really help people, get that financial freedom. I could see the community getting a little bullish on that, because it's a feel-good story.
Yeah, it is. I love it. I actually met with the team. I've talked with them several times. Very good team. I get a really good sense. I trust them. Very confident in what they're doing. So I really like them. Unbanked. Check it out. Drop is January 31st.
All right. Before we go, any Cardano NFT picks for the people at home watching?
Well, we already talked about Bright Pals. But let's see, what was the latest thing that I purchased? I think it was an ADA Ninja.
Yeah, that Ninjas, they have that Season 2 thing going on.
Yeah, you're the one that told me about it. What do they have going on? What's the utility?
Basically, they're making a manga, so you can kind of direct how that story is going to go. And, it'd be cool just to, have a real IP that's like actually making real content. Crypto people and the people, with the anime and that style of art, there's just such a big overlap. So
yeah, you get to vote on it, kind of direct the story.
Yeah, let's buy a bunch and then just derail the story.
Yeah, let's just turn it completely sideways.
I want to try to do that now, actually. All right,
y'all make sure you go follow us on NFT Update. Link in the description. We come out with videos every day, micro content, long content, good content.
And giveaways on the Pluto Alliance Discord. We're making it rain Cardano NFTs in that Pluto Alliance Discord, so you definitely want to check
We're giving 10 Cardano NFTs every week in the Pluto Alliance Discord.
Yeah,
so make sure you go get that.
I'm ready.
All right, here we go. I'm bouncing. I'm going to dribble it over.
Oh, the bounce pass.
Here we go. Boom. Boom.
Oh, that one went high. All right, Pluto's a planet.